Big Sil's National Football Show. I just got my ballot here for the All-American team, and unfortunately, there's no Garry Cobbs at Southern Cal right now. And I would say this: that guy Lincoln Riley. By the way, those dudes over at WIP, what's his name? John Ritchie was trying to tell you that Lincoln Riley was going to be the next head football coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You better thank your lucky stars two things didn't happen. Russell Wilson became your quarterback, and Lincoln Riley. I told you that is going to be the worst head football coach in USC history. You know why? Because they don't believe in guys like Garry Cobb or Palomalu. They don't believe in guys like Ronnie Lott. And there ain't a guy on this All-American ballot. I'll vote for that football team. And by the way, Caleb Williams, I don't know. Those aren't the Southern Cal teams that people used to fear. You know who the superstars were at USC? The defenders, the O-line, and the running backs. That's why you've never had a quarterback worth the shit at that place. The stars were on defense, O-line. If you go back in the history of Southern Cal, do you know who the biggest stars are? The offensive line. The running backs, the linebackers, the defensive tackles, Jeter, all them guys. These guys were freaks. That is not the same team that runs around there at the Coliseum. That guy's a train wreck. And he was going to be the Eagle head coach? I digress there enough because I bring in another Trojan legend. And USC, man, I bring in from Fox 29 our friend Garry Cobb. Boy, how the mighty have fallen.
Well, you know, the things you were touching on, you know, at USC, really, even though it was in L.A., it was old-fashioned, go to work, you know, the grind and all that stuff. That was really the thing that anybody that went out there during that time was. It wasn't about the pretty boy stuff. We didn't play pretty boy football. We played grind football, meaning we had practices where you know, like right now, man, guys would walk off if they practiced like we practice. But you know, and the guys had a respect for each other because they know if you were putting on that jersey, you know, you had some heart, you know, regardless of how fast you were and how big you were, all that stuff. They knew, look, this guy got to have some heart because if he's in here playing, you know, he's that type of player. So that
shit, your second team back in the day at Southern Cal could probably win the Pac-8 back then.
Yeah,
that's how loaded and deep you guys were. Let me switch you over to the Eagles. Let me get your takeaways, Garry, about that game on Sunday. I mean, it was just an old school NFC East. I enjoyed the game.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't enjoy the 3rd and 3, chuck the ball down the field late in the game to get the guy the opportunity. However, your takeaway on what you saw on Sunday.
Well, you know, I thought it was a very competitive game, you know, and I got to give both teams credit. I mean, for working. I didn't like everything I saw, like defensively for the Eagles. Come on, that secondary. I mean, they got to have a meeting or something, man. What is going on? You know, and you know they can't stop anybody. And really, you know, Dallas pretty much stopped themselves because it wasn't where the Eagles were stopping them. And I will give credit for some of the, you know, the pass rushes at the right time where they got pressure on Dak and everything. But other than that, would somebody cover somebody? Come on, are you kidding me? You know, experienced guys. I was in the locker room afterwards. All I could do was just start talking, man, and getting people upset and going like, I mean, Bradbury, dude, how can we pay you? You know, if I'm the coach, I'm like, how can we pay you, man? You know, you're getting beat all the time. And, you know, at least we want you to play smart football. So if you know a guy's faster than you, back up. You know the guy's faster than you. So that was frustrating from that part. I will say that you know, they showed, you know, their scrappiness and you know, that part of the Eagles, you know, they are a tough-minded football team. At least most of the guys are.
It looks like they played, Garry, and they've been playing good red zone defense because you're only surrendering 20 points.
True.
And it really looks like people are, you know, like you said, they got one of the worst pass cover teams, if not the worst in the league right now, giving up the most yards.
Yes.
And, you know, you're still only giving up 20. Yeah. But, man, I mean,
but you know,
so far off the ball. Garry, look at these.
I know.
So the last 2 weeks, they've given up over 780 yards in total passing yards to Sam Howell and Dak Prescott. I mean, 7 touchdowns and 1 pick. You're getting eaten alive.
Guys wide open. Come on. I could see if, the contested catches and everything. But it's like they couldn't cover C.D. Lamb, and if he went out there, with a chain on or something, some kind of weight on, they could still not cover him. I don't know why they stopped. They should have thrown through to him every play. He was so much quicker than everybody. And with all due respect, I know we got some veteran corners. Everybody's time comes.
Is our secondary slow?
That's what it looked like to me. It looks like to me now. I identified Bradbury, but look, I'm seeing other guys back there the same way. I mean, you just can't not run with at least C.D. Lamb. I mean, he looked like he was so much quicker than the Eagles guys. I was wondering, like, why would you throw to anybody else? If a guy's that wide open, I mean, not a little bit open, you don't even see anybody else in the screen. I mean, are you kidding me? That is that was frustrating. And the only thing that saved them really was the pass rush.
Yep, again.
They were able to get to them. And I was talking to Brandon Graham afterwards. See, he came inside, the guy was setting up outside, they wanted him to just run up. No, he came inside, and that was the key, because if he'd have went around, he would have never gotten there, But he came inside.
Tell you, Gary,
yeah,
that play on the goal line by Graham. I mean, you remember the Super Bowl play?
That's right.
And he gets a sack and a half.
Yep.
I said this, man. Those are games that when you're a Philadelphia fan, and you remember that guy, you look back on that and go, because those games like that, those are games you remember.
That's right.
But that was the game. The 2-point play, keeping him out like that.
That's right.
What an effort play, man. That was really a great football play.
Yeah, he did. And I mean, and how it shows, those two plays and the play on the goal line and everything. Yeah. It just shows you how close the game is, because those plays there, normally they're not taking points off the board, but they're taking points off the board because that review showed, and it was so close. But I will give Dak a lot of credit. I mean, he played, man.
Dak played great.
He played a great game. And if he continues to play like that, if they don't change that secondary and do something, they're not going to want to see them later on, man. They got to be honest and go, look, we shouldn't have beat these guys. Come on, they were marching up and down the field. It was just, they were very fortunate that they got out of there with a
So you think the NFC East is not wrapped up yet?
No, not the way they played. Come on, I mean, the week before against Washington, the offense saved the Eagles. The defense was so bad. I mean, guys running wide open all over the place. And this is a throwing league now. And, I'm holding my breath against the Chiefs. Come on, you think the Chiefs look at that screen? Andy Reid looks at this and goes, when can we start playing? Can we play them tomorrow?
Kelsey's going to eat that team alive.
Come on, man. They really, and you know what? See, and this is the thing, is that the players have to, they're the ones got to be the maddest, where they're looking at guys go, look, man, we're not going to survive playing like that. And, the coaches got to take some responsibility too. But that, I mean, you put down a W there, but they didn't, the way the secondary played, that was not a.
What about Ricks and Blankenship?
I like the way I like the young kids, because they're learning, and I see effort, and you can see they got athletic ability. Of course, they're still learning the game on this and how to anticipate things. But when it comes to, Slay is not giving you anything. Blackberry, come on, man. Even Byard, I mean, he didn't play well. Come on, they know. At least I will give Byard credit. I heard him in the locker room say, hey, we didn't play well. Yeah, okay, all right. I hear you. Don't be in there smiling like you played well. You got bailed out, man. You got bailed out. And, hey, I can't say that anybody plays the game. You're going to play some bad games. But they got to know they got to play much better than that. And you look at, you got KC, who you got the Bills, you got San Francisco, Seattle.
And the Cowboys again.
So we're going to find out some things, but I wouldn't start celebrating. I wouldn't be celebrating. They know they've got to play much better than that. And then also offensively, of course, they had some great drives they put together. But, you know, I'll give Jalen credit. He said, hey, we did not take over that game the way we should have. You got the ball, 7 minutes to play, 4 minutes to play. They're not supposed to get it back. You know, they know they're supposed to put together a drive. They're not supposed to be punting back. They're not supposed to be 3 and out. They had like 4 3 and outs there. And, you know, offensively, in the last quarter, the offense left. It's like the offense was getting on the bus and left before the game was over, and they know they've got to do better than that. Normally, you know, they had played well for most of the game, but for some reason in the fourth quarter, and I know I could see it on AJ's face, he wasn't happy because he wanted the ball. You know, he wanted the ball with the game on the line.
I'll say this to you too, Gary.
Yeah.
You haven't played the position over a decade. The Kobe Dean cannot be on the football field on third down. And now he's hurt again. Yeah. I mean, Gary, we're now, this is 9 games in. I mean, experimental time is for the offseason here. He was poorly prepared for what the task at hand was going to be. And you and I even said, you know, maybe put him at Will or put him at Sam, you know, get him worked into it, to throw him into a boiling pot of water and expect him not to be the focal point. That kid Ferguson and the rest of those guys, when he was out there, they were targeting him. You know, he can't play.
That's right. On one play, the kid Ferguson was so open. I mean, he went, you know, Dak went to somebody else, but I think it might have even been a 4th down play. I mean, Ferguson is, over the middle doing this. That's how open he was, you know. So, you know, I think with the injury and things, I mean, I don't see how he's going to do very much, you know. And you see they kind of forced him back in there because the linebackers were playing well.
Well, Gary, tell me on that point too.
Yeah.
I mean, they've stabilized that position, Cunningham and Murrow.
Yeah.
Why would you stunt that progression by adding a kid who's a lesser guy? And get this, you and me, I don't even know if we're saying he's not good. We're just saying he's not ready. I don't, you know, and plus we got to figure out if he's going to be able to sustain playing 17 games in an NFL season where the league is not as near as physical when you played. You're most of the time, 70% of the time, you're in 3rd and long. You're in pass coverage. You're not really taking on these big guys. So, I mean, doesn't that hurt the stabilizing of that position when you keep putting guys in and out like that on communication alone?
I was really surprised that they put him back in because the linebacker position wasn't a problem. If anything, it was a plus. These guys are making plays. They're doing a great job of tackling in the open field. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Leave it alone, you know, and especially with the problems they're having back there. And I think that it could be solved some when some of these guys get healthy, especially the kid that's playing the slot. You know, that's where they're really having problems with, you know, it just doesn't seem like they have a good matchup for that. And like I said, the Cowboys did them a favor throwing to anybody but CD Lamb. I mean, the guy's wide open.
He threw the ball to a dude named Tolbert. I almost shit a brick. I'm like, who's that? Where did he play? I mean, why would you throw the ball to a guy that's in your huddle who's probably your worst wide receiver, and you go to him? Yeah. I'd rather see Dak take off, get it to Goddard, get it to that guy Ferg. I mean, I couldn't believe that was a huge mistake by the Cowboys there.
Yeah, I mean, they knew they wanted to try to take CD Lamb away, but they couldn't. They couldn't take him away. He was so much quicker than everybody that throwing to anybody else you're doing them a favor, man. I mean, because he wasn't just open a little bit. And they know they're going to him. So, you know, they couldn't stop him. They should have never tried to go to anybody else. I mean, he was just wide open the whole day. And Dak was accurate when he was trying to get it to them. But, you know, it's kind of thing where sometimes, you know, you try to fix something that's not broken, you know.
The injury to Dallas Goedert means what?
Well, I don't know. I really didn't hear them say
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Well, You know, they got enough weapons. I think they could, you know, it's definitely going to hurt them, though, because.
Hurt them more in the run game, you think?
Yeah, it's going to hurt them in the run game. You know, and I just don't think really that in the running game, you know, I thought they were going to try to work, what's his name, Penny in. But, you know, they don't feel good about Penny.
They gave him like a couple, here's some carries, and then said no after. They kind of just. And I didn't think he was bad.
I don't think they feel good about him, but they need a bigger back. You know, with all due respect to, you know, to some of their backs, all their backs are small. And I look at them when they run, they're not running in there punishing anybody. And if anything, you see them start wincing when they're getting ready to get hit. They need a back that can go in there where he's looking for somebody to run over. That's the kind of back they could use because they got a line that would love to go in there and do
I'd like
that
to have Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, now that would be a good one. He would be a good one. You got a veteran guy with the toughness. He's smart.
Looks for contact.
He looks for contact and everything. But, you know, I just don't see like Swift. Swift is a good back. He's a good guy to have in the rotation. But he's not looking for people to hit.
He's not a physical guy.
No, he's not.
I'll tell you this too, Gary.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys, without a doubt, Jerry Jones, I think he hurt the team's chances of winning a Super Bowl because look how many times they got down in the red zone. They miss Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they didn't have the ability to get that ball in the end zone.
You're right.
They were trying to do trick plays and shit, throwing this and that.
Yeah.
And where Zeke had 11 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
That was felt.
You got to have that part of your game where you can go physical. You got to have that side of it. And they made a mistake there because they have to, they're just throwing the ball. I just don't see in it, that physical part of the game they used to have. It's not there. And you need that part. The Eagles, they don't have a back like that either. They don't have a physical back. You know?
Osen, thank you very much. I got a couple last questions here for you, Gary. Was that a signature win, you think, for Jalen Hurts?
No.
Why?
Because they didn't finish it. You know, normally, now I will say, they won the game and everything. But I don't think he was totally happy with it. And listen to him talk afterwards. Because even though, it will go down as one where he beat Prescott, they beat the Cowboys. But with the game on the line, all those times in the fourth quarter, they were 1, 2, 3 and off the field. 1, 2, 3 and off the field. That's not the way that when they're playing their best football, they don't come off. They finish the game, 4-minute drive, 7-minute drive, and everybody drives safely. See, that's the way that line and all those guys, Kelsey's like that. The fact that they didn't do that and they were off the field and they were standing over there watching the defense, and they know they were fortunate. Come on, they know that a good team with all the pieces, like when the Cowboys get down there, come on, they're going to lose that game. They know they got to play better. So I think that's the thing that they know. They didn't finish, and they talk about finishing. They want to come out where they like I said, they go into the grind, and especially with the guys that want the ball on that team, they didn't come up with when it was on the line. They did not get it done.
Last question for you, Gary. To me, when I look at the offensive line this year compared to a year ago, the loss of Seumalo over on the right side, I mean, you and I know this. Most of the time in the NFL, young defensive tackles and defensive linemen, you could beat 20. Most of those guys are good. You want to get guys young. Yeah. And it takes guys until their early 30s and maybe mid-30s to develop O-linemen. Mm-hmm. And those guys, like Trent, look at the two best tackles in the game. Trent Williams and Lane are in their mid-30s.
Yeah, you're right.
And you look at when you took that one component out, Malata had a tough time with Parsons in that game. Mm-hmm. They ran the ball for 109 on 33 attempts. Okay. Yeah. Not tremendous, but okay and good enough. Yeah. It just seems to me their pass protection, quarterback gets hit more. Mm-hmm. They're not running the ball as well.
That's right.
Are we seeing a sign of age here with this?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons they had the young kid, they put him in there, the guard. They put him in there because with Sua or Peta, they weren't getting the type of play, and they weren't getting the push they were getting with Jurgens, see, because Jurgens is hurt. So they put this, the young kid in there, and he's still learning. That was his first game. So he was unsure, and that's why, they really didn't have that consistent movement in the middle that they normally have. So hopefully they get that back. They know they need that. I would have liked to have seen them go out and get a big back for the rest of the year where they can get physical. And if they want to, they say, look, we're going to run the ball 10 times in a row. And we're pounding this ball on you. So they have that side of them. They know they can do a lot. They really have progressed in the passing game. Unfortunately, with Dallas got it out, see, that hurts them. And we'll see how some of these guys that'll be taking his place. But that's a loss with Dallas got it out of there. But we'll keep an eye on that offensive line. I would like to see them finish the season where they've got a running game that they can turn on when they want to. And like I said, tell everybody, drive safely. This game is over. That's what they like to do.
Hey, Garry, one last thing here. I'd love to see Howie running up and down the sidelines down there at the end of the ball game, going, hey, everybody, here you see, I thought Jerry Jones was on the sidelines running up and down there he was. Hey, I built this. Hey, look, everyone. I was like, wow. This guy's a horn blower.
Yeah, well.
Holy shit, is he a horn blower?
Howie had to get a little bit of his, so.
It was a big, hey, wait a minute. It was a big Fox game, It was
that's
a
right,
TV
that's right.
game. Howie's got to get his pound of flesh out there to let everyone know who did this.
Hey,
he's got a huge ego, dude.
He might have told them, hey, you know what? I might be down on the sideline, you guys. I'm just saying. I might be down there.
The way he was running, I thought it was Sean McVay going down the sidelines. And I was like, who's that little guy running on the sidelines? They signed a new, special teams kicker? No, it's Howe. I went, oh, my God. Hey, Garry, maybe my ass with him is because he went to Florida. So I'm going to hold that.
You'll hold that against him.
He's a Gator, so I'm probably going to go there with that. So,
but Howie's a good guy. I give Howie credit. Howie does work. He puts in the work. So I don't mind him getting some credit.
Absolutely, gets a little playtime. Garry, thank you, my friend.
All right, have a good one.
You got it, Garry Cobb, Fox 29. Don't forget to check him out. He covers the Philadelphia Eagles, longtime Eagle himself, and also NFLer. We appreciate him doing that. All right, hit the like button. We're going to reset. We're going to look at week 9 of the National Football League, too. We're going to do that. We're going to look at the playoff race. We're going to reset the game, and we're going to go over some things we missed. Talking about Dallas's loss to the Eagles. By the way, you would never know. You go online right now. I swear the Cowboys won. Go online right now. The Cowboys won. Hey, the Eagles, they were very lucky. No. That's not how sports works. You make your luck when you're 22 of 26 games. Even I have to admit that. You've won 22 of 26 games. That's not luck. That's making your luck. Do you understand that? That's making your luck. Lucky is winning a football game when you're 4-4. Not when you're 8-1 and you've won 22 of 26. There's nothing lucky about the Eagles. There's nothing lucky about them. There's nothing lucky about that team. Oh, they got the fumble back. Okay. They won the game. Can I get a tool threat? I like tool threat. I told you I did. Get a legend, baby. Big Sills, legend. All right. Hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Ball and Hooters, the perfect pair.